Emil Kadlec here, football diehards, the line of scrimmage, DFS cast game show with some GPP. We have here the scholar, John Laub. How are you today?
I'm doing great. We're on a roll, Emil. 2 weeks ago, we gave our viewers the GPP contrarian stack of Cleveland and San Diego and the Los Angeles Chargers, and we hit a grand slam in that. Last week, the contrarian stack was Minnesota and Carolina. We had Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen in that one, including Tyler Conklin at tight end for cheap option. And we had Chuba Hubbard. We hit another grand slam. So far this year, we've hit 3 out of 6 on our GPP contrarian stacks for our viewers. And then my cash game lineups. I've gotten hot. Don't want to jinx myself, but it's all about research and hard work. But last week, both my lineups scored over 150 points. On, we had the Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts defense. I always like the correlation there with a home favorite with a defense and the running back, and we hit that one on our summa cum laude lineup. And then on the other lineup, I came back with Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys defense. And I know it sounds strange, but the Cowboys returned another touchdown. They've been hot in the touchdown, so they got us 13 points. Zeke was good with 18.19, but both lineups cashed, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, every Sunday morning around 9 o'clock, and then double check around noon because there's late breaking news sometimes. Go to footballdiehards.com and check out my lineups. Now, you can go there right now, and we have the sheet of knowledge is up, but I do wake up about 6:30 every Sunday morning and upload the lineups at by 9 a.m. usually.
That's fantastic. Like, three out of 6, 50% in contrarian. That's like, wow, that's way good.
I'm hoping to keep it up, do the research, and let's keep giving our viewers good information.
Fantastic. Well, let's go to the first slide.
We always start off the weekly show with our sleep. Obviously, the sleepers are to find value to help you build your rosters. This week, we know DFS players want Chiefs at Titans, Lions at Rams. They might want Eagles at Raiders. So how are you going to fit in Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Darrell Henderson? If you want to do this, or Cooper Kupp, if you want 2 of those players, you're going to have to find value at other positions. And we still have the granddaddy of them all, Derrick Henry, sitting out there. How do you put in Derrick Henry? So this week I've identified 4 sleepers that I like to help you put in some of the higher price studs into your DFS lineups. Emil, I watched that Jacksonville game last week between the Dolphins and the Jaguars. Maybe one of the few who did, but I watched it. I thought Tua played well. Obviously, the final score doesn't say that he led the team to victory, and the Dolphins are not playing very well. And we've had rumors all week about Deshaun Watson, 3-way trade between Washington, Miami, and Houston. Nothing's happened. What we do know is Tua's going to quarterback tomorrow, the Dolphins versus the Falcons. Emil, I like to get quarterbacks in the $6,000 range. When we have a starting quarterback at $5,500, we only need 3 times value, so you're looking at 15 to 16 points. In his 2 starts that he's played the full game, week 1 against New England, 17.1 points, and against Jacksonville, 25.3. Tua played well, 33 of 47. That's what I love, Emil. He threw the ball 47 times in that game.
Wow, that's great.
You know why? Their running games disappeared.
Yep.
Their strategy was to just get a boatload of average running backs, throw them in, and hopefully one of them becomes a stud. We thought it might be Myles Gaskin. He had that one game with 10 receptions, but I think that's not an anomaly. He's not good running the football. That roster is depleted of a stud running back. So what does that mean? You turn to Tua to throw the football. He ended up throwing for 329 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. He also had 22 yards rushing. I love him in this game against Atlanta. So if you want to get Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, you want to spend up at those 2 positions, or you want Derrick Henry and Travis Kelce, maybe you want Cooper Kupp also. The only way you can do that is if you save money at the quarterback position. To me, Tua is the financial saver on the salary. He's only 3% owned, so you can differentiate from your opponents there. I keep thinking about the Patriots and how different they are, and there's been media criticism about Bill Belichick being too conservative. I mean, we saw the years like 2007 when he lit it up, with Randy Moss, Tom Brady, Wes Welker. The Patriots aren't that anymore, clearly. What are they? A ground game. Their offensive line is solid. They don't have playmakers at the receiver position. They're going to rely on their defense and their offensive line to win games. One of the best matchups this weekend is New England's offensive line against that terrible Jets defense. The Patriots smacked the Jets 25-6 in week 2. Damien Harris in that game had 13.4 DraftKings points. Last week against Dallas, he had 20.8. If Damien Harris scores a rushing touchdown, Emil, he's going to get you over 15 points.
Ooh, that's
he's
good.
only 5,700, 6% owned. Game script and matchup identifies Damien Harris as a really good value here. I understand he doesn't get a lot of receptions, and sometimes people ignore receptions on DraftKings, and I understand because it gives you a high floor. However, touchdowns are the grand slam. If Damien Harris could score 2 touchdowns against this terrible Jets defense, you're going to get over 20 points again. He's only 6% owned. I love the matchup of the Patriots offensive line against the Jets. If you need a sleeper at running back, Damien Harris is one of those plays you can have. And I can't even believe I've identified this one, Emil. But the salary compels me. If you want to go really cheap down the board, the Ravens versus the Bengals, I'm getting the starting running back, most likely because Latavius Murray is out. It looks like Devonta Freeman, for now, has some juice in his legs still. We know he's a veteran and he's been around a long time. But, Emil, this is DFS. We need him to do well for 1 week. I'm not talking season long. I'm looking at 1 week production. Last week, 9 carries, 53 yards. That's 5.9 yards a pop. In the last 2 weeks against Indianapolis and the Chargers, he's had 6 targets. Devonta Freeman, in his prime with Atlanta, was an uber pass catcher. He is a very good receiver. I like him here. He's only 4,400. Emil, at 4,400,
wow.
we need 12 points from a running back to get 3 times value. He's only 5%. I do like him. And Derrick Henry. You can put the 2 of them together if that's how you'd like to construct your lineup. and you still have enough salary to build around. I don't think he's going to get you 25 points. He's not a GPP play, in my opinion. But in a cash game, when I'm looking to build around that Titans and I'm looking to build around the Chiefs game, Devonta Freeman as a starting running back gives me a lot of salary relief. And then this is all about opportunity and possibility of snaps. What we have in Tampa Bay is Antonio Brown is not going to play. Well, in 3 receiver formations, Tyler Johnson, the second-year wide receiver, should be on the field. We know that Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are going to be fed. But we also know that Tom Brady takes advantages of mismatches. We've seen glimpses of brilliance with Tyler Johnson. I think he had a big home run in the Super Bowl playoff run last year. In one of those games, either the wild card game or the following week, Tyler Johnson played well. This year against Miami, Tyler Johnson had 7.2 points, and against the Rams in week 3, he had 9.3. He has an opportunity here at bare minimum salary. Emil, all we need is 4 receptions for 40 yards. If we ever got into a touchdown, it would be gold. High risk. I get it. He's only 2% owned, and he's very high risk. But if Brady has one of those 4 touchdown games, and we know that could happen, that could be, maybe he gets 1 touchdown to Godwin, 1 touchdown to Mike Evans, and he throws Tyler Johnson a touchdown. I like him here. If you really want to build up Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Tyler Johnson gives you bare minimum salary at $3,000. I like him as a long shot, Emil.
Yeah, those are fantastic. I put them into our optimizer here on footballdiehards.com. And the first lineup, and of course you can do 50 lineups, so you can do a lot of other things. It gave us Aaron Jones, Mooney. We got Tyreek Hill and Kelsey in. And it looks like the Arizona defense. So you got a lot of big names in that.
Yeah, this would give you the options to build a solid lineup and really put in those high-end players. And like Emil said, we can do up to 50 lineups. And you could even lock in, if you wanted to lock in Cooper Kupp or Tyreek Hill, you can lock those players in and build around these 4 sleepers with our optimizer.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. All right, let's go to the next slide.
And where am I building? We want to go with our cash game Fantastic 4. And what I needed to do this week, I'm going to leave it up to our viewers. Do you want Derrick Henry? Do you want Tyreek Hill? Do you want Cooper Kupp? Do you want Travis Kelce? All those are viable options in my book. Right now on our site, in my sheet of knowledge, I have a Derrick Henry lineup in the Summa Cum Laude. You can go check it out if you would like. So what did I want to do? I wanted to be able to give you a Fantastic 4, which allows our viewers to decide where they want to go. And the optimizer picked out Aaron Jones. I know Aaron Jones, I keep saying these other players just because of the high-scoring matchups. But Aaron Jones is another one. Ooh, and don't forget about, and then you got Devontae Adams. So there's a lot of high-end options. Use our optimizer. But my Fantastic 4 this week, Emil, I feel so good about Matthew Stafford here. Playing the Lions. This year, he has just been on fire. Look at these in his 6 games, 27, 18, 32, 21, 21, 26 DraftKings points. For the season, 16 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. And what does he get this week? The Detroit Lions, his former team, at home. This isn't even about revenge, because I don't think Matthew Stafford, from what I've read and what I see, he's not upset with the Lions organization. This is about the matchup. This is 100% about the matchup. Detroit is not going to be able to contain Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Darrell Henderson, and that just leaves Matthew Stafford with a quartet of playmakers that he can utilize throughout this game. Love Matthew Stafford. I think he has a floor of 21 points and a ceiling of 33. Love him in this matchup. A great place to start. I'm going to come back on the other side. Deandre Swift. He's questionable, but from what I've read, from what we've seen on Football Diehards, what we've reported, it looks like Deandre Swift is going to be in the game and he should play. What I love about this, Emil, is his pass catching upside. Look at these targets the last 5 games. 5, 7, 6, 6, 7. You can't ask for anything better from a pass catching back.
Wonderful.
His receptions, he's so efficient. 4, 7, 4, 6, 5. He's catching like 80% of the throws that are tossed his way. In the last 2 games, he has scored 18 and 22 DraftKings points. Deandre Swift for a stud running back in a PPR format with a game script that most likely the Lions are going to be playing from behind in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and Deandre Swift is their pass-catching back. I like him a ton. So I get Matthew Stafford and Deandre Swift as the comeback in my Fantastic Four in this game that right now Vegas has projected at a 50.5 over-under. So I love that. Then I need a piece of that game with Kansas City. I'm going to go for the starting running back. We had liked Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was playing well. But last week, Darrell Williams got into that game. He got the carries, the touches, and he played very well. More importantly, he scored 24 DraftKings points, Emil. 21 carries. We like that. He only had 69 yards, but that's okay. He had 4 targets with 3 receptions, and he scored twice on the ground. I'm getting the starting running back in the highest over-under game on the slate, 57.5, and it's got a 4.5-point Chiefs are favored. So Darrell Williams should be in the game the whole time. He's only 5,800. I like him a ton. And then I have this sneaky feeling about Tom Brady. I don't know. I just think it's a 4-touchdown game. Without Antonio Brown, love Chris Godwin in this game. I think it's a Chris Godwin. Could be Mike Evans. But Chris Godwin, I do believe he's less. Let me see. Yes. Mike Evans is 6,500. Chris Godwin is 5,900. I'll take Chris Godwin in this game. Love him to get in the end zone. Think he'll be peppered with double-digit targets. I'll take double-digit targets for a stud wide receiver any day. So right now, my salary that I have in the Fantastic Four is $24,800. That leaves you $5,040 per player. But you get a tight end and a defense. So you could pay down for the tight end or you can pay up for Kelsey. That is up for you, the viewer. You can put it in the optimizer. Emil mentioned the Arizona defense. I kind of like them a lot. I believe they're only 3,100. That's a very fair price. They're playing the Texans at home, so you can save some money there. You can get Derrick Henry or Aaron Jones into this lineup. And look at the ownership percentages are not bad. Stafford 11, Deandre Swift 16, Darrell Williams 16, Chris Godwin 10. But again, Emil, we've talked about this all year. I'm not too worried in cash games about ownership. I'm worried about points scored. So I like that. Emil, did you get a chance to put him in the optimizer?
Yes, and if there's quite a lot of variety there. The first lineup actually has Kelsey. It has Aaron Jones. It has actually Bateman for Baltimore and Van Jefferson for got the Rams, and it has Arizona defense. And there's quite a lot of variety as you flip through. Chase comes up a lot at wide receiver. And anyway, yeah, it fits in quite nicely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, go to footballdiehards.com, place in this fantastic four, and then do our optimizer, and you can get up to 50 lineups to see who the optimizer likes a lot and it's a match.
Fantastic. Off to the next slide.
And we are here to help you every Saturday night and all season long on our website to build better DFS lineups. We have so much great information. Emil and I have been talking about the optimizer. My sheet of knowledge is up there, and it's updated every Sunday morning for our viewers and our readers. But we also have our DraftKings cash plays and DFS GPP stacks from Jamie Calandro. Those are up there right now. We have the Shadow Nose by Gary Davenport, which is cornerback, wide receiver matchups, where you can find value, who to put into your starting lineups each week. Bob Harris with his DFS 3 and out for GPP lineups, 3 players that he loves, 1 player that he is not going to put in his lineups this week. Justin Lanero digging in the crates daily. You want more sleepers, Justin breaks them down for you in his weekly column. And then every Sunday morning, 10 a.m., DFS Football Diehard Show with Jason and Jamie. They break down the entire slate and all of the games and help you put together your lineup Sunday morning.
That is fan. And, of course, we always have the ownership on the site, too, which is a nice little frosting on the cake. Love looking at that ownership.
That's where that's all the ownership that I put on the slides all comes from the Football Diehards ownership projections. And they're always updating. So if you see one of my ownerships changes by tomorrow morning or when you watch this, it's because it's constantly updating.
Yep, things happen. All right, let's go to the final slide.
All right, we hinted at it earlier in the program. Our GPP, we've been hot. 3 out of 6 weeks, we gave you a contrarian game to place into your lineup to try to differentiate from the competition. We are trying to hit a grand slam. That means it might strike out, or we could, like the last 2 weeks when we hit on San Diego and Cleveland, and last week Minnesota and Carolina. This week, I'm identifying the Falcons at the Dolphins. I don't think a lot of people are identifying or looking at this game. We know people are going to stack Kansas City and Tennessee. They're going to stack Detroit and Los Angeles. They might even do Philadelphia and Las Vegas. You might even get a Washington Green Bay. I'm recommending throwing in a Falcons-Dolphins stack to be contrarian. Look at those ownerships. I'm going to start with Tua, and we talked about him earlier in the show, so I don't need to discuss why I love Tua. We already discussed that. If you want, go back, or if you want, you could do this lineup with Matt Ryan. I'm totally comfortable with either one of those two. I like Tua, but Matt Ryan is only $200 more, Emil. Matt Ryan is also a great value. Not bad. If you don't like Tua or you're nervous, you don't agree with me, you could easily put Matt Ryan in for $200 additional salary cap. So it works for you very easy. You have a pivot. I was shocked, Emil. Cordero Patterson is 5% owned. 5%. The entire country believes that Patterson is going to lay an egg soon. But you know what, Emil? This is a GPP contrarian stack. I'm going to roll the dice that Cordero Patterson has one more big game in him. I also don't think it's crazy. Mike Davis has been unproductive, very average at best. Cordero Patterson is active in the passing game. They obviously like him. There's been an uptick of snaps and opportunities. What's interesting, he qualifies at running back. Emil, the last 4 games, his targets, 7, 7, 6, 9. The yardage, 58, 82, 82, 60. Last time we saw him against the Jets, which was week 5, 14 carries. Emil, 18.5, 35.5, 16, 24 DraftKings points. If his name wasn't Cordero Patterson, he would probably be like 25, 30% owned. I cannot understand why he's 5%. That is unbelievable value for a contrarian GPP looking for one more game. Miami's defense is not good. I'm just going to be kind. It is not good. I love Patterson here. I usually don't like this to put in a 20% player. But I think the matchup and the salary is so good. You've got to play Calvin Ridley here. Just take the high ownership this one time. Hope him and Patterson are sprinkled with targets like crazy, and Kyle Pitts doesn't get into the end zone. Calvin Ridley has not had a smash day all year, but his targets, Emil. He's against this terrible Miami secondary. I love him to smash here. His price is depressed because of how bad, he hasn't lived up to expectations. So we're getting him at a value here. And then I said, who am I going to pair up with Tua? Obviously, to me, it's a no-brainer. Jalen Waddle is Tua's preferred target. He had 13 targets against Jacksonville, and he had 13 targets against Las Vegas. We see the high up end in targets. He had scored twice against the Jets, 29 points this week. Atlanta's not very good in the secondary. Tua's going to continue to target Jalen Waddle. I love him here for 5,600, and he's only 6% owned. And then I'm going to go Mike Gesicki. Emil, after his slow start, he was bad the first 2 weeks of the year. 0 and 7 DraftKings points. I think DFS players, fantasy players, kind of just tuned him out. They forgot about him. Look at the numbers. The last 4 weeks, 18.5, 16.7, 8.3, 22.5 DraftKings points. And he's only scored once. If I'm looking for to win the GPP with my contrarian stack, I expect Tua to throw 3 touchdowns. I'm hoping 2 to Gesicki and 1 to Jalen Waddle. That's how we're going to win, Emil. So I like that contrarian stack, very low ownership, and you still have $5,325 per player remaining. Emil, were you able to put this one into the optimizer?
Yes, I was. Let's see what I came up with. The first lineup, it has Aaron Jones again. Obviously, we have him ranked fairly high this week. It has Mooney. It has Swift as a flex. And the Arizona defense. And like I say, there's quite a lot of variety as you go through all the lineups. But that leaves you with some decent stuff there. And one of them has Darrell Williams for Kansas City as a flex. I'm just kind of flipping through here. So
Yeah.
definitely have a lot of options to look through as you click through.
Absolutely, my friends. And remember, we're looking for high upside, low ownership, and this lineup gives you that chance. However, you got to, as we've said on every show, there's always downside with the contrarian stack. But I like this one a lot, and not a lot of people are talking about it, Emil.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, by the way, we went to the rest of the season pricing, so you can get, if you are a new subscriber and have missed the preseason in the first 6 weeks, you can get the the rest of the season for $8. And if you use Diehards, you get 15% off that. It comes down to $6.80. But this is interesting. You've got some excellent ones here. And it's funny how Patterson is just not, we just don't trust him. And Ridley, if Ridley could just score a touchdown, it would just make him, the frosting would be on the cake. And this is a fun lineup. I like it.
We got, and again, if you don't like Tua, easy pivot to Matt Ryan, everyone.
That's a good point. I'll have to think about that. I got a half a day to think about that. Excellent. Well, congratulations on, I mean, contrarian stacks going 3 out of 6 weeks that's just crazy. That's just fantastic.
Working hard for our listeners and our readers, Emil. We got you at Football Diehards.
Fantastic. Well, good luck, everybody. Any final thoughts?
No, just enjoy the games, and you must stay up to date all the way until kickoff. There are always emergency changes. Players who we thought were going to play are not going to play. So stay tuned. You can listen to Bob Harris on SiriusXM or just go to footballdiehards.com and make sure you keep looking for updates.
Sounds great. Enjoy, everybody. Have a great Week 7 Sunday.